welcome back to the channel. This is a bit of a video from the bike fit with Matt Bottrill that I had on Monday. Great to go up and see him and spend some time with him. It's the second fitting I've had. For those of you who don't know much about Matt, he's a national 25, 50, 100 mile TT champion in Britain. He does a lot of work with a lot of professional triathletes. I think he's done some work on a lot of pro teams as well in terms of cycling in the past. Probably one of, if not the best bike fitters in the UK, and probably one of the best bike fitters in Europe and the world, to be honest. He has a lot of people through his doors, from Olympians to pro triathletes. So it's really good that you can go up and see him and spend some time with him. So I actually was going up for what Matt calls the silver bike fit. So he's got a couple of packages that he has: bronze, silver and gold. The silver one includes the full bike fit, plus having some insoles made as well from Sidas, I think it is, and then also a bit of pressure mapping on the saddle as well. So really excited to get up there, spend some time with him, and see if I can make some gains from last time that I saw him. So last time I saw Matt, a couple of years ago now, wasn't long after I had the Factor, and I just wanted to upgrade the bars on that from the standard bars that I had. So I was hoping to get the newer Drag to Zero bars at the time that were due to come out. Unfortunately, there wasn't many around, and there was a few delays in terms of production and things. So I went for the sort of standard Drag to Zero bars that had been out for quite a few years, but just allowed me to get a slightly better position, a slightly longer bar than the standard sort of base bar that I had with the Factor. So Matt fitted that and also made some suggestions in terms of my sort of helmet as well and my head position, and upgraded the helmet that I was running to a Casque Beluga, which is a nice helmet, but it hasn't got a long tail on it as well, which at the time was really good for me in terms of the position, the head position that I was having on the bike. So that was a couple of years ago I'd seen Matt. So one of the first things we did once I arrived, we got the bike set up onto the turbo. And just had a bit of a question, just run through a few questions and answers really in terms of what I'd got ready, what I'd got prepped for next year in terms of races and things like that. So Matt does send out sort of a pre-questionnaire and survey, which I filled in, which just runs down sort of all your personal bests, what wattage you were doing at those personal bests, what heart rate if you were running a heart rate monitor as well, and then sort of your key targets for the upcoming season. And also probably just trying to understand around any sort of niggles and injuries that you had, not just sort of bike injuries, but also perhaps having a look at any other sort of injuries which might compromise the bike position, or something to be aware of when we were doing the bike fits. So the first thing, once the bike was all mounted up, was to get the kit on and sort of get riding really, and just let Matt have a look at how the position is at the moment, just to get a bit of a baseline, just to make sure, and I suppose understand where I am, how I'm holding the head, how I'm shrugging the shoulders, and just look at the position overall. To be fair, it was in a pretty good place. Matt was pretty pleased. He had seen some real improvements, especially with the head position and how I was really sinking into that, which was fantastic to see. So it put me in a really good sort of stead really for the fit that I had on Monday. So and generally I've been pretty pleased with the position. So I was really looking forward to just sort of getting the new system set up and just seeing how that would work really, and what sort of marginal gains I could make on the position with Matt on this bike fit. One of the things Matt did do as well, also in terms of when I was looking at the position, was also just to do a few stretches, just see how flexible I was, what the strength was, just to make sure I'd got no sort of imbalances or inefficiencies or anything like that. So generally not in bad nick. I think the strength and condition has really helped with that. Really enables me to sort of get into the position, and I'm not being compromised by any sort of biomechanics in terms of my back or my hamstrings or anything like that. So that's been something I've really worked on over the past few years, and it really helps in terms of making the adjustments on the bike. That the strength and conditioning is enabling me to hold the positions that I need. So the big part of the fit, one of the reasons was going up, was to get the new drag to zero 0.66 bars set up. So I ordered these with Matt. He's got a really good relationship with Simon Smart over at Drag to Zero. And one of the benefits of the new bars, I suppose, waiting a little bit longer, was actually there's been a few more adaptations that have been made. Now, I was running a blip box with SRAM shifters on the extensions and into the onto the base bar, onto the handlebars while the brakes. But he recommended to change these to the wireless blips, so which makes it really easy for traveling and dismantling. So we removed the blip box, took out all of the old cabled sort of shifters, and then Matt sort of fitted the new sort of wireless blips onto the brakes, so which was really good. And then also he was fitting them onto the extensions themselves. Now the new Drag to Zero 0.66s, which is really nice. You can basically put the shifters into the main compartment at the end of the shifters. So there was I think some work that Matt had done with Simon Smart and making some recommendations. So actually you put the little shifters into this little compartment, and then there's a seal that goes over the top and screws down, so they look really nice. So they look like they're sort of embedded into the main sort of extensions, not just stuck onto the end, which I think perhaps was how they were previously. So they look a really nice ergonomic and fitted system now. So the beauty of those is that you don't need to recharge them. I think the batteries last for about 3 to 4 years, so that makes it really easy in terms of haven't got to worry about any cables and any wires. When I was traveling a couple of years ago, I had to take out my bars, had to flip them around, but I couldn't take them off because of the wires. So it's just going to make it a lot easier when traveling. So after that, Matt fitted the whole system, and then we started to have a look at the position. Really got into a few runs with the position once he'd set the bars up. Started originally without the pads, just to get a bit of a quick sense check of how that was going. It's a slightly elongated position than I had before. Nothing too drastic, but a little bit further, which I think is going to enable me to get my head down a little bit more, which was fantastic. So we just did a couple of quick test runs, really, just to ensure that was all okay before actually putting on the pads and putting on the armrests themselves. Now, on the new Drag to Zero 0.66, the armrests are a little bit longer, a bit more sculpted. The whole bar is a lot more sculpted, so it really comes into your forearm, and it's a lot deeper as well in terms of the actual system itself. So it looks a really well sort of designed piece of kit. Really comfortable. So initially, when we did the first couple of runs, it was a little bit uncomfortable on the elbows and the especially the sort of the end of the forearm, just because I didn't have the pads in. So, but we just got a couple of quick test runs, sort of made sure we were pretty okay with that. Matt's so good at his job. I mean, he can pretty much just look at you and make some quick recommendations. So yeah, we slightly extended the reach. The position of the arms and the hands as well was a little bit better on the new system, so just felt a lot more comfortable than the previous bars that I had. So once we sort of nailed that position as such, Matt then took all of the parts apart again. Had to chop down the end of the Drag to Zero bars, the carbon rods at the end, just to make sure that they were flush. And he's a real, I don't think he'll mind me saying this, but he's a bit OCD, so he was just making sure that absolutely everything was a carbon copy of each side. he's a real expert in terms of actually fitting these bars and these systems. His attention to detail is absolutely fantastic. So he sort of cut all the bars down, put all the pads on, and basically then we had a good look at then how I felt on that. In between those sorts of fitting the bars and Matt doing that, he also then got me onto the City bike sole inserts. So he's got a machine there that basically you sort of stand up in. I think it heats up some pads. He'll put the insoles in underneath, which they heat up, and basically mold and create a sort of a mold of your feet. So he did comment on the state of my feet. Probably a few too many years running, so maybe I need to get them looked at some point. But so it was great. I'd already had some insoles anyway, so it's nice. I've got a couple of pairs now, one for my triathlon shoes and then one for sort of my day-to-day sort of road shoe in the summer. And I do have a little bit of a low arch on the one side, so the insoles just quite help quite a bit on that in terms of the in my bike and stability on the pedal stroke. So yeah, that takes a little while just to do that, but whilst he's sort of doing that, fitting the insoles and those sorts of things, he's busy away sort of dismantling the front end and rebuilding it and all of that. So, but it's great to watch him at work, really. It's amazing how quickly you can sort of get that position dialed in for you whilst also doing all of the sort of the equipment changes and those things at the same time. So once we'd done all of that, the end of the fit then is just getting on the bike again. And now that I'd sort of got that tweak of the head position, we're just trying a few different helmets. So he'd got me on one of the Met helmets, just had a look at that, which has got a slightly longer tail. Now, he didn't recommend that last time I saw him, mainly because of my head position was slightly different. I think now my back was a little bit flatter, and the way that my head was coming down and I was bringing my shoulders in a little bit more. Actually, the Met helmet looked really nice in terms of the fit. I think what we also tried was one of the new Specialized S-Works, but Matt had made the suggestion and recommendation that he's got a new Rudy Project helmet coming in soon. And I think it's a slightly wider helmet. And I think for me, he was saying that actually a slightly wider helmet might just get rid of some of the gaps that I was having in between the shoulders and the head. He said the Met was pretty good. The Specialized actually was quite good as well, but he thinks the new Rudy Project helmet could be a really good fit for me. So I think they're coming in mid-December, late December. And what was really nice about Matt as well, he was like, well, if you pop back up with the bike, we can get you back on the turbo trainer and just quickly have a look at that and see if it's the right fit for you. So I think that's something I'm going to do, going up in sort of mid to late December and just seeing if I can get a bit more time with him and just have a look at that and see if there's some gains to be made by having another helmet. He was suggesting that with the fit, new bars, possibly a new helmet, it could be anywhere between 5 to 10 watts of saving that I could have there, which is quite a bit for me in terms of savings. The other big thing he also mentioned was around possibly an upgrading of the TT suit, especially if I want to go try and find sort of 20 odd seconds this year to go sub 20. The sort of the no pins hypersonic suits are supposed to be exceptional. So it might be that I look to possibly next year have an upgrade of the suit as well. So like I said, super stoked with the fit. Another good 2-3 hours with him. He's a really great guy. Really recommend anyone that's looking for just some advice on their position, whether it's comfort, whether it's aerodynamics, or just also perhaps being able to run off the bike a little bit better. I really recommend going to see Matt. Now the silver package that I had, I think it's £310, which includes the insoles. And for 3 hours, about 3 hours with Matt, that's ideal. Obviously, I had the drag to zero bars and everything put on as well. But yeah, I think if you're training a lot and you're investing a lot of money on a bike, yeah, I couldn't recommend it anyone more than Matt in terms of having a bike fit and looking to maximise that money that you spent on the bike and ensuring all that training that you're doing, just don't miss out on actually having a bad position. So really recommend going to see Matt. Now, he normally has about a 2 to 3 month waiting list, so if you're looking to get him for next season, it's worth probably giving him an email now and seeing when he's available. I can imagine if you do call him, he's probably got a 2 to 3 month waiting list, which just shows, yeah, he's man in demand. But yeah, like I said, really good fit, really enjoyed it. Hopefully some gains then into next year for my TT, so hopefully that's going to get me closer to that 20-minute barrier, and hopefully that sub sort of 52 on the 25 TT as well. So really looking forward to getting out on the bike, seeing how it fits and getting a few miles in, hopefully when the weather's a little bit better outside. If you haven't, like and subscribe. Really appreciate those of you that have started following recently. The numbers are slightly going up, so I hope this video was really useful, and look forward to hopefully sharing you some more content soon. But see you all soon, and thanks again. Bye.